Hi everyone, it's me. Uh, just a bit of context first. This video has been a mess to make. I've re-recorded now 3 times. This is the third time I'm recording because the first time I just messed up speaking, and the second time I realized I got some stuff wrong, so I had to go back and correct it. But now I'm all good. By the way, thanks Sharon for helping me out with just confirming that I got the right stuff. It was very helpful to have your stuff to reference against. So now I'm all good. I'm going to get started. So, question 1. We've got to consider an industry that has 2 firms in it, an oligopoly, if you will. Firm 1 has costs AQ1 squared, and the other firm has the costs BQ2 squared, and they're both producing the same product. So, what we firstly need to do is find each firm's reaction function. Now, where is the thing? So we're going to look at, if you want to look at the slides for this, I'm going to bring them up on the side, just so you guys know what the deal is. So, when we're looking at this question, we're looking at Cournot's model, okay? And Cournot's Nash equilibrium and stuff like that. So, Cournot's model, we need to match marginal revenue to marginal cost. Now, we're given the cost functions already. And I think you can quite easily see that marginal cost is going to be 2AQ1 for firm 1. For marginal revenue, so we calculate revenue by taking the price and we take the quantity. Now, the price, as we see here, is M minus Q. And we can say M minus Q1 for firm 1. Then the quantity from firm 1 is Q1. So it's going to be M Q1 minus Q1 squared, and that's the actual profit. But then you have minus, and then pardon me, I'm already messing up. No, the price is determined by both firms' quantities. So you can see the price here is M minus Q1 plus Q2, and then times that by Q1, you get that. Then matching these two together, we're going to get our best response function. As you can see here, Q1 equals minus 1 over 2a plus 2, Q2 plus m over 2a plus 2. Okay, so that's that. And then we get a very similar thing for firm 2. We get Q2 equals minus 1 over 2b plus 2, Q1 plus m over 2b plus 2. There you go. And what was the other thing? Explain the intercepts of why these functions are different. So the intercepts of the functions sit at the points where the other firm's quantity, so it would be Q2 for firm 1 or Q1 for firm 2, when those quantities equal 0. So, functionally, the intercepts represent the monopoly quantities of each firm, essentially. So that's why these two intercepts are different. I will show that later, but that's the deal. So, we also need to find the Cournot-Nash equilibrium for industry and determine the price. Now, I'm not going to show every single calculation here, because to be fucking honest, it'll take too long. So I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to show you is my little workings. Ooh, look how fun they are. So what we're doing is we're essentially substituting the best response function into each equation. So for Q2, I take this Q2 and I slap that equation right in the middle of this one. I take Q1 and I slap it in the middle of this one. And then we get the equilibrium values of Q1 and Q2, as you can see here. Then, to get the price, we're going to slap this into the price function, M minus Q1 plus Q2, and you end up getting something that looks like this. Okay, at least you should. I'll let you guys do those calculations yourself. The main thing is that you've got to have these response functions right. If you don't have the response functions right at the start, it's going to go horribly wrong. Trust me, I know personally. So make sure to get these response functions right. Anyways, on to C. What are the monopoly profits each firm could make if they're on their own in the industry? So, again, we can see that if we insert, for example here, if we inserted 0 as Q2, we'd get the monopoly quantity, which would be m over 2a plus 2, and then in this case would be m over 2b plus 2. So we retrieve those, okay, and then what we do is we put those quantities into each firm's profit function. So the profit function is going to be the price function, but we're just going to include Q1 or Q2, depending on which firm. So I've done M minus Q1, and I've done a little M next to it to say it's monopoly, essentially. And then we have times Q1, so that's the revenue, minus the cost function, and we have that there. And what we're going to end up with, again, I'm not going to show you the whole calculation. There's the fundamental thing. Basically what you do is you take this here, you put it in there, and you end up with something that looks like this, okay? Yeah, that's the deal. So, on to D. Again, like, I'm glossing over the calculations here. I don't think it's completely necessary to show all the calculations, but it would be, maybe you'd like to do it yourself just to confirm, okay? Just maybe do the calculations by yourself and then put down your answers, okay? Cool. Now suppose firm 1 is a leader. I guess it chooses its output level before firm 2 does. What will it choose? So when we talk about choosing first, we're talking about Stackelberg here, which will be on this slide. We take firm 2's reaction function and we take firm 1's profit function, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to sub in firm 2's reaction function into firm 1's profit function in order to get, if I know what firm 2 will produce and I want to maximize my profit, what do I do? So you can see we've taken firm 2's profit function, best response function, and we put it in firm 1's profit function. We then partially derive with respect to Q1, so we maximize our profit function with respect to Q1, and then rearranging, we get something that looks like this. You can simplify it further, probably. I mean, I'm sure I could cancel out terms here, but I'm not going to, because 1, I'm lazy, 2, I don't give a shit. So, I motioned 3 there. 2! No, not going to fucking work. But that's the deal. Right. It says here, suppose the industry is reorganized. First, each firm simultaneously chooses their outputs. Then, once these outputs are determined, they choose a price for their product. And these prices can be different, but the consumers always buy from the lowest price firm. Draw a game tree for this new game. Now, I'm sure a lot of people got confused here because they didn't know what to put as the payoffs. And I'm thinking you don't put payoffs, because how would you determine payoffs here? It would be very hard to do so. So what I've done is I've just done a game tree. This is just the game tree itself. And I've done larger than, smaller than, or equal to, depending on that. So you do quantity first, you do the price next. Okay, that's what I've done. Yeah, okay. And then we see here, in this reorganized industry, suppose firms have produced the quantity. So if you decided on that, and firm 1 has the price P1, such that it's on the demand function, essentially. Does firm 2 benefit from undercutting this price, choosing P2 under P1? Well, I think it only benefits in a very specific condition. So when we see here, we start by constructing an inequality, basically of when is firm 2's profit larger than firm 1's profit? And we get this, essentially. Now, given that we know both firm 1 and firm 2 have the same quantity that they've picked, we can replace essentially Q2 and Q1 with the same term, which I'm going to just call Q21, just because it's easier. So I've replaced that there. Now you can now see, because we now have a Q12 into every bit here, we can factor out one of them. So we factor out 1, and we get P2 minus B Q12 then is larger than M minus 2 Q12 minus Q12. Then we just need to rearrange for price 2, and we get price 2 must be larger than M minus bracket 2AB minus, 2 plus A minus B, close brackets, Q12. Now, this is the condition for beating the profit of firm 1, essentially. But we haven't made the condition specific to firm 2 is undercutting firm 1. So we now make sure that the price is lower than firm 1's price. And because firm 1's price is determined by M minus Q1 minus Q2, we can combine the Q1 and Q2 to make M minus 2 Q12. And so the condition here is that P2, if it falls within this inequality, it is beneficial to undercut. But if it doesn't, it will not. And that's essentially the deal. Okay, let's move on to question 2. So 2 firms are engaged in Bertrand competition. Where's Bertrand competition? Is it here? Bertrand? Is this it? Hooray! Okay, so Bertrand competition is in static oligopoly. There we go. So what's going to happen here, and what it's saying is that there are 100 there are 100 all good. All good. There are 100 potential customers who are willing to pay $5 for 1 unit of the good. Okay? So firm 1 has a marginal cost of $1 and firm 2 has a marginal cost of $2. So describe the outcome of virtual competition in this case. Now what's going to happen is that both of them are going to start at $5. Okay? Because they're basically getting the maximum they can get out of their consumers. Now, if I'm, for example, firm 1, and I know my competitor is charging $5, if I set it to $4, I can take all the customers. Okay, and I can undercut them, and it's all good. Now, firm 2, after I've done this, is like, hey, I want to get in on that. So they undercut their price to maybe $3. Okay, and we keep on going. Okay, but the thing is, firm 2 can't drop lower than $2, and firm 1 can't drop lower than $1 because they're marginal cost to that. And you cannot drop your price below your marginal cost, otherwise you're just not going to make a profit. So, what firm 2 is going to do here is that the lowest it can drop to is $2, but firm 1, knowing it can undercut firm 2 a little bit more, might just drop to $1.99, okay, just to really fuck it over, okay? So firm 1 is at $1.99, and firm 2 can't get there, because, functionally speaking, firm 2 just can't drop any further. So what's going to happen is that firm 1 is going to charge $1.99 for the product, it's going to take all the consumers, and it's going to get essentially all the business, and firm 2 is just going to be left out because it can't afford to lower its price anymore. So let's look at B now. Suppose each firm is only able to produce 80 units, but they have the same marginal cost of $1. When the price that firm 1 is proposing is $2, so firm 1 has the price of $2, what's the best response for firm 2? Now, firm 2 has 3 options. It can overshoot, it can match, or it can undercut. Okay, actually, let's go on to undercutting first. So to undercut, you'd get all 80 customers, okay, but you'd have to charge less than $2, okay? Let's say as well that firm 2 is charging $1.99, okay? If firm 2 charges $1.99, we have 80 times $1.99 minus its marginal cost times 80, because it's producing 80 units for a marginal cost of $1. So this gives it, in total, $79.20, okay? That's its profit. Now, that's good, but what else can we do? What happens if we match? So if we match, the quantity is going to be split between 2 firms. So firm 1 is going to produce for 50 people, and firm 2 is going to produce for 50 people, and they're both going to be charging $2. If firm 2 does this, well, then they're going to get revenue of 50 times $2, but they're going to get a cost of $1 times 50. So their overall profit's going to be a $50 profit, which is worse than the undercutting scenario. So they're not going to go for that. But what happens if we overshoot? Okay, well, firm 2 can do something actually quite interesting. Okay, if we overshoot, we know that we're still going to have 20 customers that's still going to want to buy our product. Okay, so if we know that these 20 customers still want to buy our products, we can charge the highest price we want for it. Okay, provided they're going to buy it. And we know all of these customers can pay $5 for this product. So if we charge 20 customers $5, let's try this. So it's going to be 20 times $5, which is $100, minus the marginal cost. But because we're producing less, we're essentially going to have less of a marginal cost. So $100 minus $20 for the marginal cost is going to be $80. This is the highest amount we can get. So firm 2 is going to be a bit of a premium seller, and they're going to sell their product for $5, and that's going to get them the most money. So that's the deal. Now, let's focus on question 3. God damn, my hair's gone down my back. It's disgusting. Okay, we now have a monopolist. Let's just go back to my monopoly thing. A monopolist has a demand curve of Q equals 30 minus 2p, and MR equals, you see the equations, where the price is measured in dollars and quantity is measured in thousands. I think that must be a typographic error. Never mind. What price and quantity will maximize the company's profits? Now, if you look in these slides, you can see that profit maximization lies at marginal revenue equals marginal cost. We're given marginal revenue and marginal cost, and if we make them equal to each other, we get quantity equals 5. I've also done you guys a little bit of a solid. Oh my god! by making a little diagram showing things. This slide will come into factor later. Yeah, here we go. So regardless, what we said was marginal revenue equals marginal cost gives us quantity of 5, and on the demand function, quantity of 5 intersects with 12.5 as a price. So we'll get that. Now, for the next question, a regulator is imposing a maximum price of $10. So what price and quantity will the monopolist choose now? Now, when a monopolist chooses their price and quantity, how it sort of works when it comes to price is that, okay, first of all, green is the demand function, blue is the marginal revenue function, and red is the marginal cost function here, okay? So what's going to happen is they're going to travel along the demand curve, okay, to essentially get the highest price here, yeah? And then when they reach price is equal to marginal cost, it's no longer profitable to go down here. So they're going to follow the marginal cost curve instead, down here, okay? So what's going to happen is that prices move here until they don't, and then they reach here, okay? Now, you can see here, I've plotted the price of $10 along here, and you can see that it is actually intersecting the marginal cost curve at marginal revenue equals marginal cost. So the monopolist is going to produce here, and the quantity is going to be 5, and the price is going to be 10, okay? If they produced over here, they would not be profitable. I'll show you why, okay? What happens if let's try to calculate the revenue, okay? I'm going to just do some random calculations in here, okay? So the revenue would be, okay, so let's say we were producing over here. We'd have $10. $10? Yay, $10. Okay, $10. Oh, I can't write dollars. Just let's go with pounds for now. £10 times 10. So that would be our revenue. But if we look at our total costs, we would have 10 squared plus 2 worth of costs, which means we'd lose out on like 2. We'd be making a loss if we produce there. Whereas if we're producing here, we're doing 5 times $10, and we'll do 5 times this. So this is going to be 50 minus 27, which is going to be 23. So that's a positive profit, isn't it? There you go. So that's the deal. Now, what is the best price for a regulator to set? Now, I watched the end of, I think, week 3's lecture, so if you guys need this bit more in detail, so go watch that. But essentially, a regulator wants to maximize the available quantity on the market, you know, reducing surplus and reducing, well, no, not reducing surplus, reducing shortages, essentially. So what's going to happen is that because the monopolist follows along here and then along here, okay, the regulator wants to maximize the quantity, and the quantity maximizing price sits here, okay, because you can see that quantity banks out here and then banks back, okay? So if we're on this section, we're not producing as enough as we can, and if we're on this section, we're not producing, we're basically going back on it, okay? But if we're here, we're producing the maximum amount of quantity. And you can see at this point, the quantity is equal to 6 and the price is equal to 12. A good measure here is that a regulator wants to set a regulator wants to set the price where price is equal to marginal cost. And in that case, the price is equal to 12 and the quantity is 6. Okay, that is the deal. It's actually quite satisfying to finally, you know, do a competent video. I've been trying to re-record this so much. But thanks guys for watching. I hope you guys have a lovely reading week. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.